Hey coaches, how you doing? Welcome back. We're gonna get things started real quick. The first thing I want to make sure that we understand is the most basic form of blocking, which is man blocking. It's been around 100 plus years. Uh, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the man blocking system via the numbers first, and then we're going to transition that into zone blocking. My version of zone blocking is probably going to be a lot less convoluted than most people's. I don't really teach a true zone blocking as it pertains to reading helmets and knees. I have a really quick method for implementing zone, which I learned from Joe Pendry and Bill Mountjoy, and I stick to it. If I have troubles picking up slants and stunts, I end up going to a full gap scheme. So let's get started real quick. So up here, I just got a 50 front against 12 personnel, and the first thing I want to discuss right here is we want to talk about numbers, right? A lot of you already know how to do this, but from a teaching perspective, it's very important to be able to teach each person. So our center gets 0, guard gets 1, tackle gets 2, and our Y gets 3, and the same applies backside or away. I put a minus for the backside and a regular number for play side. We're going to make the assumption we're going 48 stretch right here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure in practice, starting at that middle line with our center, the center is the one that starts the number count. Okay, he needs to declare and point. We're not trying to psych people out, hide, do anything strange. We're going to make a 0 call, head up on that nose. Guard's going to make a 1 call up on that back or second level. Number 2 is going to be the cover tackle right here. And then 3 is going to be the Y's responsibility on that outside backer. Okay, so we got 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. We got 4 against 4, okay? Now the way I teach zone blocking is it's as simple as this. In practice, we teach these guys to get off, okay? And we teach them to get off. Now, we have aiming points. For inside zone, it's play side number. For outside zone, it's play side armpit, okay? So for this example, we're going to practice, let's say, the traditional 48 stretch, okay? So here we're going to get play side number, play side number, play side number, play side number. He's got a -1, -2, -3. It could be 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter. I just use the minuses to tell my coaching staff and my players that that's backside away from the play. And then we can also tell our play side players that a positive number is play side. You don't have to do that, okay? Now, the only difference with this is we're not worried so much about this backside relationship, okay? If it's a 48 stretch or a toss play or anything going wide, I'm not concerned about this guy. So I want to make sure that this guy gets a good double on that too. But we'll cover that in more detail a little bit later. For right now, we're going to just assign everybody a number, okay? He's going to get to play side armpit. He's going to get to play side armpit. He's going to rip through his gap, okay? Just for practices right now. I might put a guy with a bag up here like a strong safety, and he may just rip up and make sure he gets in that guy's way. Okay, so what we're going to do in practice, okay, is we're going to line them up, and we're going to walk them to their aiming point, which is play side armpit. They're going to get back, or we can change the line to second string. Get off, every person's going to count and point to their number. I want them pointing to their aiming point. So if that's nose is head up, he points to play side armpit, play side armpit, play side armpit. I want to build the repetitions of getting each player on the offensive line to hit that aiming point. The more times we point to that aiming point, the more times we declare that aiming point, the more times we're going to have a better chance getting to it. So we're going to do this for anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes of just get-offs, okay? So I don't even get them in a complete stance. I get them in a 2-point progression with their eyes up, pointing, and we rep this through. We can get 2 lines. If we have enough players, 3 lines. And in 10, 15 minutes, you might be able to haul off with 20 to 25 repetitions. We do this every practice. We do this before summer. We do this over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Everybody must declare a number, okay? I don't want anybody silent. You're in this core here and you're silent, you're taking a lap, okay? Or you're pushing. Or the offensive line's taking a lap. There's nobody quiet. You're going to find out that your players don't want to sound off. No, I want fingers pointing to the play side armpit, declaring your number. 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Every play. Rep, 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 rep. This is our numbering system. Now, for those of you that are coaches that are students of the game, you understand that there's only 5 fronts in the game of football: over, even, under, odd, and okie, or okie and bear. Sorry, we've got our bear front, which is our goal line. We've got our okie, which is most of our 50s. We got our even, odd, and under, which belongs to our 40s for the most part. Okay, so you need to know those 5 defensive fronts in the game. Okay, because the number system will hold up. After this video, I will attach the number system to every defensive front that you can possibly see. So again, we talk about numbers, okay? We want each player starting with the center. The center is going to be play side, whether we go left or right, okay? He starts 0, guard's got 1, tackle's got 2, Y or H has 3. If you can count to 3, you're good to go, okay? If we motion a guy over outside the H or Y, he gets 4, and the count continues. So this is the first step in teaching players how to man block, okay? I have found a lot of times when you're beating somebody's ass and you're running the football consistently, a lot of times they're going to stop the slants and stunts, okay? They're going to line up in gap control defenses and cover 0 you, get more guys in the box than you can handle, and typically when that happens, we end up truck tossing or we end up, getting outside. So once you've declared the numbers, the second thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you rep it. Rep it. You need to be starting sometime in February, meeting with your linemen at least once a week, getting about 50 to 100 reps in per visit, even if it's only 2 or 3 of your core guys, okay? By the time you get back down into June, you're gonna try to aim for that 2,000 to 5,000 rep mark. So when you get into full practice, this is something that is simple and everybody knows how to do it, okay? This is step 1 in the teaching progression, okay? Finally, 3, your kids will have memorized the number system, okay? We also get them in the classroom, we get them to look at number counts. I have them come up on the whiteboard, draw it out, 0, 1, 2, 3. You're gonna find out that this is not very hard and you're gonna burn this into their mind. Okay, now coming from the number system, this is the last part, and this is all I do for zone. This is it. This is all I do for zone. We're going to line up in 12 personnel. We're going to have that same, let's change that color. We're going to have that same 50 front. I don't care if 5-3, 5-2. We're just going to make it simple. Okay? Backer, okay? So right now, offensive lineman is going to be taught the following. If you're covered by your number, and the rule is, number 1, if you have a clear shot, an unobstructed shot at your number, that's your man to the end of the whistle. If you have an unobstructed shot at your number, that's your man to the end of the whistle. A center covered by a nose is a clean shot to his number. Now, this guard who has 1, his number's up here, okay? He has a clear shot to his number if we were running straight up in a 42 zone, right? Okay? But if we're running something like a 48 stretch or some kind of jet sweep or something to the outside, he's not going to have a clear shot to that number. Why? Because that backer is going to drift which way? Play side. Everyone's taught to cut the boundary off, force the play back inside, right? So what we want to make sure of is we teach step 2. If you don't have a clear shot at your number, you double with your play side teammate to the play side. Example, backer ends up going this way to read the 48 stretch. He doubles with his teammate. Number 2, does he have a clear shot on his number? Yep. He never leaves his number to the whistle. So the basic premise is here is if your number disappears, you double with your play side teammate. These 2 stay doubled till the whistle. We don't have guys release. We don't have guys going second level. They double at the point of attack. So you've got an armpit here and a double here. He's got a clear shot on his number. 0, 1, 2, 3. He stays on that to the whistle. Now that back's taught, and that's a whole nother video series on running back reads on the M-man line of scrimmage. But for example, they're going to push and drive this guy this way. He's going to read the play. He's going to get armpit. He's going to get armpit. That play can break up inside or it can maintain. I'm not going to go into the DE reads right now, the R-back reading the DE's helmet. But the way we teach it is if he sees no helmet and he sees our helmet, he stays outside. If he sees a helmet from the defense for contain, he cuts it up inside. That's all we do for zone scheme. So the players walk to the line of scrimmage and they ask themselves two simple questions. Okay, do I have a clear shot at my number? If so, I kill it. If I don't, and my number goes away, goes inside, goes outside, and I can't get to it, I double with my play side teammate. That's all we teach in the zone scheme. We rep this out, rep this out, rep this out. Coaches, I know what you're thinking. The enemy of the mind, the enemy of football, is splitting hairs and overthinking, okay? Do not get tricked and tempted into worrying about all the possibilities of what these guys can do. Okay, that's the first mistake that a coach can do, because you'll end up drawing plays until you have a damn heart attack. You want to rep these out, change the defensive fronts, have your guys number them. If their number goes away, double. I've had great success. I've got tons and tons of high school cut-up clips to demonstrate the effectiveness of this scheme, so it works, okay? The only time I make an adjustment, if we start getting guys crossing and slanting and stunning and blowing up gaps, is I throw in a truck toss, which everybody rip reaches and we pull tackle, or I gap it. I don't even double on my gap teams. I gap down and wrap H and kick out with the guard. That's my answer if we have a hard time with slants and stunts. But I don't change the zone scheme that I teach for the sake of slanting and stunning. Now, I know zone blocking gets a lot more detailed than this, but I have had a lot of success by just teaching kids to blow their opponent up at the line of scrimmage and keep this simple two-step teaching progression. It's worked for us. If you'd like to share a video, I encourage you to post your zone schemes on our site. We can compare and contrast notes, but I've been able to get a lot of yards per carry in every game that we've played in. Granted, because we've had tough kids, but the teaching progression is real simple for them to understand and they don't blow it up. And if they get aggressive at the line of scrimmage, you don't need a lot of complexity. So hopefully with this number system and this easy to learn zone style system, this can help you, teach this in a more simple fashion. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up on Football Everything and hit a like. Appreciate it.